Greetings everybody, Sive is here with the ForexPeaceArmy.com. So let's take a look at euro currency once again. In general, overall picture looks really fascinating on the euro currency, especially if you would take a look also at the British pound and at the dollar index. But first, let's see what we have here. So in general, market stands relatively quiet inside of the confidence support area. Some stabilization is happening right now. And purely on a daily chart, we can't say what the potential direction might be, because nominal trend remains bearish. We do not have a lot of activity. So from that standpoint of view, we have no patterns, and that makes it difficult to make a decision on a possible position taken in the current moment. On the weekly chart on euro currency, the same as well. So market still stands in a tight range, so we do not see yet any patterns such as the grabbers that we discussed in the weekly report. So probably we will have to wait a bit. On lower time frames, if we start from the fall time frame chart, you can see that the upper direction that we discussed recently has happened. Grabber stands in action. So probably we could say that it's mostly completed because market is moved above this local top that has been formed here. So this is minimum target of the grabber. Market currently is trying to go out of the triangle, which could be treated as a bullish sign. Indeed, if you take a look on the dollar index, you could see that market is forming some bearish signs. On the hourly chart, we have this minor grabber is forming. It's almost done, completed, suggesting more downside action here. On the follow time frame chart, we also have grabbers on top in the recent action, and market now is moving lower. So these potentials suggest that some bullish performance on the euro currency could be continuing, although these patterns are very small. It's local on the full time frame chart, makes no big impact on the bigger picture. So it suggests just minimum targets, such as taking out of this area, which means that on the euro currency, for example, we could get kind of the ABCD pattern here. Well, probably somewhere to 118.50. So that's might be the target. On the hourly chart, if we take a look at our recent performance, just don't pay attention to this butterfly by far. Here's the hand shorts that we discussed yet. So we said keep an eye somewhere around 1780. This might be the shoulder. This is the only pattern that we see. If you would like to take the position here because it gives you very small potential risk, you could try to do this. In general, it works really nice. Based on the patterns that we have on a dollar index, it even suggests a further continuation. So here, guys, those of you who have traded this pattern, you could decide what you do with your positions. So definitely move stops to the break even, then think about the maybe grab some profit or do something if you would like to. But at the same time, market stands below these lows, and I wouldn't be surprised too much if we could get this kind of the butterfly action later, this type of performance. If of course we will not get this ABCD, but even if we will not get this butterfly, if we will get this ABCD pattern, I just trying to make some parallels with the performance of the other dollar-related currencies, and particularly speaking on the Great British pound. Personally, I like this picture that I see. So if this is also 4-hour time frame chart, you can see that market stands in the ABCD pattern that has not been that's mostly done, and actually in euro currency we could get something else, something like this. I wouldn't be surprised too much if even market will move slightly higher and reach the confidence resistance around 136 area. The same thing we could suggest on the euro currency, some ABCD pattern on the 4 time frame chart. Just take out of this top, and that corresponds to dollar index, right? So market could drop here, so forming the same ABCD. But overall picture on a cable is greatly fits to idea of the possible free drive pattern. So if you take a look carefully, we have first drive 127 second. If we'll get this pullback, or even if market starts right from this point, action down, third drive supposedly will be around 139 area. 133 95, 133.80, so roughly 134, this downward action. And the question is, what will happen on the euro currency in this case? And that's the major, let's say, tricky moment that we have currently on euro currency. So why I'm speaking about this is that currently on the euro currency, we do not have really big patterns and big setups. And from that standpoint of view, for some time, I think it makes sense to stay on the way of the following some minor patterns and do not do anything if we do not have clear setup for possible position taking. So for example, yesterday we've got this head and shoulders, we have traded it, we've got the grabber here, we have tried to trade it, but currently at this moment we do not have any new patterns. So maybe it makes sense to wait, because risks of the downside action currently have not disappeared, so still exist here. And from that standpoint of view, I don't want to risk too much, although I'm not really argue that it might be some ABCD completion. We could get the same guidelines to put to sell as we have on the cable. That in towards what we have. So as a bottom line, what we're gonna do currently, those of you who have long positions could stay focused on this ABCD performance, watching for 1850 target maybe, and see what we have, managing your position. If you would like to take the long position currently, I suppose it's not good point for that, because patterns are mostly done. Overall situation is not very supportive for taking long position immediately, and better to wait for another setup to be formed. If you have the bearish view, then probably you could wait when the market will reach the same resistance areas on the cable. You could also watch the cable, by the way, that has a bit more clear picture in relation to bearish positions. And maybe on euro currency we could get the same 222 a bit later. That might be the starting point for another leg down. So that's a few patterns that we intend to keep an eye on, but we do not want to actually foresee them. We don't want to take position in advance, so we just will react and take the positions only by facts. If we will see really corresponding reaction to one or another pattern, we will take position, but we will not try to just selling right now around 1850 just because this is possible target of the ABCD action. So sounds a bit maybe confusing, but that's the, if you take a general look at the performance that we have, the way how market performs, it's rather choppy, and in the current circumstances hardly we could invent something better. So that's just my 2 cents on the current situation.